Kia ora everybody, welcome or welcome back to the channel. My name is Amy and I am a colourist based in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I'm here today with Whatcha Working on Wednesday, where we go through everything that's on the table this week for me, and I also go through and ask you the most important question: what you working on? I would love to hear from you down below to hear what you're currently got on your table and what you are working on. So I have a little bit of stuff to show you today. I've had a bit of a weird week. Admittedly, I'm feeling a bit burnt out, and I think that's okay to admit sometimes, is that we feel like we are burnt out, and you don't have to be go, go, go all the time. And because I've been a bit burnt out, I've been really changeable about what I've wanted to colour. I've been starting things and hopping onto other things and just doing little bits here and there, and that's okay. I have managed to finish off a couple of pages this week, which is wonderful, but yeah, there's been a lot of bouncing around different books and just doing little bits, and a lot of basing as well with alcohol markers. So the perfect book when I'm not feeling particularly focused and changeable in what I want to colour is Small Victories by Joanna Basford. Now I've been doing a little bit more page hopping in here. So I came in here and I did like this fruit salad bowl and all the berries and the cake. I think I coloured that little strawberry up there too. I really like this page. I keep meaning to do that one. I started the flower on here. I'm using a particular set of pencils. I don't know where they are right now in all the chaos, but they're Staedtler Brunsfits or something like that. They're very, very firm pencils with minimal payoff, but they're like, they go really pale and it creates almost like a bit of a pastel thing. And I'm just using that for the full set. So yeah, did a little bit more work on the cupcake. I mean, I just did a liner and a cherry, so I really didn't do a lot on this page. That's what I wanted to do. Started this page with the blueberries and the strawberry. And that one is a completed page. See a little bit of work in Small Victories by Joanna Basford. Then I have A Million Dragons by Lulu Mayo. This is a new book in my collection because I also did do a little bit of a shop. I have this page here. Now I have actually started pencil shading on this one, which is wonderful. So I used water-based markers to base it so that it wouldn't bleed through. And then I've started using Kameliya pencils to do a little bit of shading. So like the leaves and that dragon, there is a little bit on there, but I think I need to darken it. I think maybe I've done a flower or two. Yeah, I do need to up the contrast a little bit. There's also a bit of shimmery watercolour on the moon in the background, which is quite nice. Yeah, it'll be nice to get that finished because it would be a page in a new book, which is always nice to touch a new book, but we'll see. And then I have Cutie colouring. I have Capybara Cuties, and I have a new one, which is Highland Cow Cuties. This is a new book to my collection as well. So I'll start with that one. This one is by Suzanne Washington. And I've just started this page here. I really do quite like this book. It's the first one in this Cutie colouring series since Capybara Cuties that I like the look of. It's not quite the same as Capybara Cuties, but it's still pretty cute in its own accord. And yeah, so I've based this with alcohol markers and used a little bit of Posca paint pen to do the cheeks, which I think looks really, really cute. I do want to come in here. I haven't decided if I'm going to shade this like I shade Capybara Cuties, where I just literally put on highlights, or if I am going to actually put shading into here. But I do know I want to come into the tartan and use my Language gel pens to draw in like red and maybe white lines as well. Just to add some dimension to the tartan and add some extra colours in. Yeah, it's a very cute one. It's reminds me a little bit of Capybara Cuties, but it also has more scenes and a little bit more detail. It's not quite as simple as Capybara Cuties, but it's still pretty cute. So I think it's cute. I'm excited to colour more in it. So that's my page so far in Highland Cow Cuties. And then in Capybara Cuties, I'm in a group for this book. So there's a whole bunch of us. Let's go. Oh, that one I've still got to work on. Again, I've just done an alcohol marker base. I haven't done any of the highlighting or any glitters or anything like that. So I've still got to do that. It was a battle of the dying alcohol markers once again, but they managed to last for the page. I'm not quite sure about the colours of the capybaras because they're more peach and browns, but hey, this is a capybara in the sun, so maybe it's a little sunbird. And then the other one I'm working on is this one here, and this one, again, another battle of the dying alcohol markers. Two of my browns, two of them died while working on this one, so yeah. So yeah, still working away on that one. Again, I do keep the shading pretty simple on these pages. I don't even always shade. I just put highlights and stuff like that. Just keep this book quite simple, but I do like the look of it. This book's getting really full up now too. So I've got one more to work on to play a bit of catch up as well. And yeah, so that's Capybara Cuties by Rob Parkinson. Then I have some Kameliya Angelkova. So first I have 50 monster themed miniatures. We'll move that one out of the way. And so in this book here, what I tend to do is I just grab 5 random alcohol markers and just colour in the monsters with those 5. I might add additional colours if needed, but I tend to just keep to those 5 as much as I can and make it work. And so quite a fun little challenge. It's a great way to use up random alcohol markers because you never know what colourway you're going to get. So I just started at the back. And I have not done any shading or anything on these ones. I've just done the alcohol marker base. So each one of these I pulled out 5 markers for. Managed to score a yellow in each of them. So they still all look a little harmonious. But yeah, they can get some very random combos and it's quite fun. And then we have... Oh, come here. Hands don't want to cooperate today. This one, Reading in the Trees. And we have this one. Again, just alcohol marker base. I haven't done any of the shading or highlights or any finishing details. It was just getting the alcohol markers down. So yeah, and I did 5 of them, which goes with the 5 markers that usually get chosen at random. So that's 50 monster themed miniatures by Kameliya Angelkova. And then I have 50 Zodiac themed miniatures by Kameliya Angelkova. This is for Jess at Colouring Bumblebees hashtag. So once again, I have just based. It is alcohol markers to base. This was another one where the alcohol markers were dying. So 2 different purples in that background, but managed to make it work. So that's Chibi Leo. And then the other one for this month is the dragon, where once again, you can see I had another marker die. So we've got a blend across here from red to orange. But I made it work. And then as well as basing those 2, I've also based the 5 elements of the Chinese Zodiac page. And I'm going to try and match that to the 4 Zodiac elements that we've already done. So yeah, I'll shade that up and then I'll do the Ganzai Tumbi in the background again too, so it ties together. So yeah, all that's been based, but none of that's been shaded either. And then a different kind of basing Neko Story of Precious Cats. I actually have a group for this book where we choose a page once every 2 months. And the page that the group chose was this one here. So I've got my base entirely done with Derwent ink tints. There's also a bit of washi tape on the dress here. So yeah, the entire thing's been based, and now I just need to go in with pencils and start shading at some point. I don't know why, I'm just really not in the mood to work with pencils at the moment. So that is my page in Neko Story of Precious Cats. I have Mythomorphia Aquatica. This is a whip from a while ago. So I had pre-done the background on this page. So it's Ganzo Tambi in the background. And I've used a little bit of pencil just to start shading in her skin. And that's literally all I have done. But that was the mood at the time. I mean, I'm happy with the progress I made on her skin. I think the more I colour in on this page and the more elements that are filled in, the easier this page is going to be to actually see what's going on and make sense of all the details. But that's future Amy to figure out. That's Mythomorphia Aquatica by Joseph Kettenbang. And then the last whip that I've worked on is in Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosans. This book is completely falling apart. If you haven't seen it, it's falling apart. But that means that I can have the pages out loose, and the page that I'm working on is the Sphinx Double. And if I can get this one finished, that would be amazing, because then there would only be 2 more pages left in Mythomorphia. Oh, home stretch, y'all. So for this one, I originally had a plan to do this in browns and blues and whites, but something about when I pulled it out to start working on it, I started with the clouds and I did pink, yellow, purple. I was like, well, that really wasn't in the colour plan, but okay, I guess we're rocking with that. So I carried on. I originally did the clouds with Neo Colour 2s, but they didn't blend out very well. They reacted kind of weird on the page. And I was like, I wasn't really liking how they were looking. So I decided instead of using the Neo Colour 2s, I would paint over it. And I could have taken that opportunity to change the colourway back to the original plan of the brown, blue and white. But no, I carried on and did the yellow, pink and purple again. So it changed my plans. And so I decided, oh, well, we're obviously doing a bit of a different colourway. So I will do a purple Sphinx. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do pale yellow for the fabrics and then pink for the hair, and bring in maybe some like tan browns for all these background elements, and then bring in some gold as well. And I think that'll look quite nice all together. Yeah, I think something along those lines would probably be my plan for the rest of the page. I think it should come together well. And as I said, once I get in the mood to get back to it and get more of it done, once it's done, 2 more spreads remaining in Mythomorphia. A double page and a single page. So really close to getting that done. So yeah, now this is normally where I would sit down and colour and chat with you about the week. But as I said at the start, I've had to re-record this. I am feeling burnt out. I'm feeling really not inspired to colour right now. I've actually been playing a lot of Fields of Mystery. I've been doing some embroidery and I've been reading a ton. And that's kind of where my mood is at the moment. And so normally I'd sit here and chat, but there's also not a lot to catch up on the week. It's just been a usual week with a ton of hospital appointments, a ton of just carrying on, and not a lot to report this week. So instead of doing that, I am just going to do a short video showing the whips of this week and not force myself to colour, because If I'm not in the mood to colour, I'm not in the mood to colour. And I'm not going to force myself to do it just for the sake of a video for the Wednesday. So I hope you don't mind that this is a short one this week, but yeah, as you can see by the randomness of the whips and just where I'm at, a lot of those pages, they don't need much to be finished, and I just haven't been in the mood. So yeah, I hope to pick up again before next week. We'll see how we go. I am also officially 6 weeks post-op this Saturday, which is exciting, which means I can start doing things like going back to the gym and going back to the pools and getting things back in order, which will be really nice to get back to routine as well. I think that's throwing me off a little bit too. But yeah, I hope you don't mind that we're doing a bit of a shorter video this week. Again, I would love to hear from you down below to hear what you are working on, what's the whips on your table. I am now going to go and curl back up in bed, rest my back, which is killing me today, and carry on with my book. I'm currently reading House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas and thoroughly enjoying it. And yeah, I wish all the araha to you all. Take care. Ka kite, and I will see you when I next see you. Bye.